On a small farm among the green hills stood a special tractor that had new tasks to perform every day. One day, when he woke up early in the morning, there were 3 important missions waiting for him to complete. The first task was related to the cornfield. The land had to be plowed before the rains came, so that the seeds could take root in the fresh soil. The tractor drove to the field, turned on its implements, and began to work with precision and persistence. The ground was hard, but it did not discourage him. Slowly, meter by meter, he plowed the entire field, preparing it for the coming rain. The second task was on a nearby hill, where cows were grazing. Their tank had dried up after a hot week, so fresh water had to be brought in. The tractor hitched up a large tank and headed for the hill. The second task was on a nearby hill, where cows were grazing. Their tank had dried up after a hot week, so fresh water had to be brought in. The tractor hitched up a large tank and headed for the hill. The road up the hill was steep and bumpy, full of rocks and holes that made driving difficult. The tractor felt the weight of the water-filled tank weighing down on its axle, when every bump in the ground caused the wheels to momentarily lose traction. Despite the difficulties, the tractor did not slow down. When he got there, the cows were already waiting. The tractor filled their tank with water, and they happily began to drink. The third task was the most difficult. The bridge leading to the fields in the village was damaged. Without the bridge, the villagers could not cross or transport their produce to the city. The tractor was to help with the repairs, so it hauled the boards and tools needed for construction. After several hours of hard work, the bridge was as good as new. The planks, which had previously been rotten and cracked, were replaced with solid new beams, carefully cut and well fitted. When all three tasks were completed, the tractor, tired but happy, returned to its place. It knew that every day brought new challenges, but it was always ready to meet them. Let's build cool machines together. It's a small backhoe loader. It's a small backhoe loader. picturesque valley where green fields stretched to the horizon, lived a tractor named Rufus. Rufus was large and strong, with a red body that gleamed in the sunlight. Every day, Rufus was ready to work, taking care of the farm and helping with various tasks. One day, Rufus woke up early in the morning as the sun began to rise over the valley. He knew there was a lot of work ahead of him, but he was prepared for it. The first task was to plow the field for new crops. Rufus hitched up the plow and headed out to the field. With the loud roar of the engine, he drove towards the field that was waiting to be prepared for new crops. The ground was heavy and damp, but Rufus, thanks to his strength and reliable mechanisms, easily pulled the plow through the earth, creating even deep furrows. Rufus's every move was precise and deliberate, as the earth turned and crumbled under the pressure of the plow, revealing rich, dark soil ready for new seeds. With each line passed, the field took on a new look, transforming into a perfectly plowed area. Rufus proudly watched his work, knowing that his work was the first step to a bountiful harvest. After finishing plowing, Rufus started the next task, sowing seeds. He attached a seeder filled with corn seeds and began scattering them over the freshly plowed field. Each seed fell into the prepared furrow, gently settling on the soft, overturned earth. Thanks to the precise operation of the seeder, the seeds were evenly distributed throughout the field, ensuring that each plant had enough space to grow and develop. Rufus moved slowly across the field, his drill working flawlessly, ensuring that every furrow was carefully filled. The sun was shining brightly, its rays reflecting off the tiny seeds that gleamed against the dark earth. Once the field was sown, Rufus moved to the pasture where the animals were waiting for him. This was another important task, transporting feed for the cows. Rufus hitched up the trailer full of food and slowly pulled it to the pen. The animals, seeing Rufus coming, joyfully ran towards him. The feed was distributed and the animals began to eat peacefully. In the afternoon, Rufus had one more important task, transporting the crops to the warehouse. The sun was slowly beginning to sink towards the horizon, illuminating the fields with a warm golden light. Rufus, full of energy after a short break, moved towards the field where a combine harvester was already waiting, busily harvesting ripe grain. The tractor pulled up to the combine, harvesting the grain from the field, and began loading it onto its trailer. The grain was heavy, but Rufus, thanks to his strength, managed it admirably. When the trailer was full, he headed to the warehouse where the grain would be stored for the winter. Towards evening, Rufus returned to his shed, tired but satisfied with the work he had done. The lights went out and the tractor deserved a rest. He knew that tomorrow would be another challenging day, but he was ready for it. In the valley where Rufus worked, everything was in its place thanks to his unfailing work and dedication. This is how another day passed on the farm, where Rufus, the brave tractor, made sure that everything functioned smoothly and harmoniously. Every day was a new adventure for him, and his hard work brought joy and satisfaction.